All right, everybody. Hi, welcome. My name's Wendy, and you are watching Wendy Makes Art. I have a channel on Twitch, and on Fridays we do a show called Friday Night Dinos. So tonight we are working on dinos. I have normally I'm on at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, except for I moved all my cameras because I'm working rather large tonight. And it took me a while. I thought I had it all figured out this morning, and then when I got home tonight, I realized that I needed to move some things. So we're going to get started. I'll kind of go through everything, and you'll be able to see me here. And occasionally when I have to drop over and look, I've got my tea, I've got resources back here. Actually, I'm going to put some of these over here so that I've got things close to me, and my cat, one of the cats, is laying on my drafting table now. She's like, okay, well, if you're doing this, I'm doing this. So welcome, anybody who's stopping in. Thanks for joining. I hope that you have a creative experience. Feel free to draw along or do your own artwork in your studio while I work on this. So let me grab a pencil, and while I start drawing, I'm going to tell you a little bit of what this is all about, and I'm going to start to resize these so you can kind of see it. If you have ever seen Botticelli's Birth of Venus, it is a famous artwork. Let me kind of bring this in for you to see. This is just a printout from the internet, and it's called The Birth of Venus. And what we're going to do is reproduce this with a dinosaur theme. Now, Friday Night Dinos started out as a show where I wanted people just to have a studio night, draw still lifes of dinosaurs. I was providing those still lifes, and really just enjoy drawing and have a Friday night of drawing. And then as I started working on this, along the way I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do dinos playing poker? And I did, and that was great. And then that led to, oh, wouldn't it be great to do more of these famous artworks? And then I started researching the dinosaurs more and trying to understand their anatomy, how to draw from the imagination, just practicing my skills. And that's kind of where we are. So I'm working on a series of inspired by famous artworks, but then adapting it with dinosaurs. And right now what I'm struggling with is, I'm sure any fabulous 12-year-old out there is going to be able to tell me a thing or two about dinosaurs that I do not know. And so it's a little challenging because I didn't memorize their names or learn all the dinosaur names as a kid. And so I'm trying to, honor the research and the study and really learn more about it myself. But now I'm struggling with, I'll start out and I'll be drawing, and I want to make sure that I have dinosaurs together that are from the same general time period. They may be from different places on the globe, but I'm really trying to at least get the same time period ish. Some creatures. Now this one we're throwing an octopus, and I don't know, can you guys see that? So the Birth of Venus, she has this beautiful red hair right here, and so to mirror that I'm gonna have an octopus, and this is a water scene. We're gonna have the water line probably up to about right here, maybe even here, might even be in here. So we'll see as I work on this neck. I may have just placed that too far up. But we're going to start with this guy and really look at the bones and take a look and see what I can do with his face and jaw. and try to make sure that I don't turn this wrong. And tonight we're drawing, and then if we get this whole thing drawn, we're gonna switch and try to create a palette of colors to paint this in. I'm gonna be working in watercolor for this. I do not know if I'll convert it to an oil. Right now I'm starting to think that like there's stages, there'll be sketches and then moving into a watercolor stage and then take them even bigger to oil, because right now I'm limited. I brought them up to 18 by 24 and I really feel like they need to be bigger than that. So we're moving on. This is 20 by 30. It's on a full sheet of 22 by 30 watercolor paper, and then I've taken about an inch off each end. And we're gonna see how well that works. I kind of wanted him when I create this guy, I'm going to give him a really pale, fleshy color, but we're going to get these gorgeous bones. And I'm thinking that we can actually make them shell-like and pick up this concept of a shell, a pearlescent, within his flippers. I believe that they started finding them with bone. So I'm going to take a little bit of creative liberty in this piece, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's kind of get the feel for where everything is, and then we'll start adjusting. Annie C., you made it. Lebowski, yeah, any kind of research. I think with octopi, of course, you know, they're gelatinous. They don't have any bones. So they're not going to find octopi bones, like you say in here. They've been around in many forms since before bones were invented. It's not that bones were invented. It's just that they have a completely different makeup and structure. And you have to assume that they have been around forever. I'm guessing they have. Anybody who knows anything or wants to jump in on this conversation, feel free. Where is I just lost my picture. I want my Birth of Venus somewhere in here, just so I kind of have it as a reference. You know, like I have this guy over here. What I'm trying to decide is, do I bring this head down? Probably. I probably don't want his nose that high. I may want to bring it down a little further. And I will be shaking the camera. I am sorry. I wasn't sure where to put this one. And it's a little weird. Usually I can kind of see myself talking to all of you. So it's weird to have this camera on me and not be able to turn my head and see what's going on. So, you know, I'm looking at the painting and going, okay, where does her head fall in space? And then where do I want this guy? Probably to end right about there, whatever's going on with that. I just broke my pencil. Luckily, I have a mechanical that I brought in to the studio. I think his head's going to be a bit, you know, we're looking at the underside. If you look over here, what I did with this and kind of turned. And, you know, maybe it would be more in line with this, but her head is turned this way, so definitely wanted this guy to have something going on like this. Now I think the neck might need to curve down more like this when it comes down, so I'm going to put that in there and a little more curve in him. And then where I'm looking at where this octopus sits. Now, I think I'm pretty good with that. I like where I had it, just to kind of bring these legs out. So I knew that I wanted to mirror what was going on up in here. So we've got, you know, legs are going to have to come out in here and in here. And then I have brought him back. Now it could be a little, no, I like the weight of it. So I'm going to keep him right in here. because I do like the lines, how this comes up and over and then can bring back down here. And then his leg comes inside around. So I've got to make sure that they make sense where it meets up with the octopus and that he's big enough that he can be really long too. So I could drop him down a bit so that we could get that hair lower. So we can bring him in more like this towards the shoulder. Bring him in like this. I kind of like that. Makes him a little larger, a little more presence, and then I can make his legs longer if we do that. Okay. Octopuses is a word and octopi are not. Thank you, Lebowski, for correcting me for any improper octopuses talk. Now, one of the things that I was figuring it out, because they have angels in this painting on the left over here, let me do this so you can see it. I was going to use some kind of pterodon, and the one that I started with I thought would work. However, I found out that now I'll say it wrong, Plesiosaurus was a Jurassic, in fact, was it early Jurassic? Let me see, hold on. Ooh, early Jurassic period. Now, there were pterosaurs, but not the kind of pterosaur that I was focused on. So I think that their structure is going to be about the same, but I need to make sure that if I can find any research about what kind of pterosaur it was, that it makes sense. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. Okay, Lebowski, I see. Yeah, you're an octopi guy for the record. Gotta love that. And I want to see too, I'm kind of looking to see, everybody, this is the first time that I have streamed on 2 platforms. So be patient with us. I'm hoping that the stream works well, that it doesn't, like my arm doesn't stay like this and then drop a frame. I don't want any frame drops, so we're kind of seeing what happens with this. Of course, I'll get better with lighting. I've changed this all around, so we've got to move everything. Anyway, I'm not able to see both chats, so if you are watching on YouTube, hang in there with us. Hopefully by next week, we'll figure out how to also follow along in chat, okay? So we're kind of, I'm also seeing like, do I need to go into YouTube on my phone? I'll figure it out. Just hang out in there with us for a bit while we try to learn it. Let's see. So one of these legs can actually, I didn't have it like this, but I think one of these legs could come down behind the octopus and dangle this way. So we'll have a big leg coming in here like that. I think that would be really nice, almost like this right here. And I can bring another leg. There's 8 of them, so we have lots to work with. And I'll kind of like, does it go back this way and then come back again for that one turn? So I'm really just trying to think about how this octopus is going to work with the dinosaur. And I don't want this to feel like a struggle because the piece isn't like that at all. So this guy, his leg's going to come up here. And I'm looking really how this hair is going. And there'll be one that comes out along this way. We could twist a leg just like that, where it comes around and then back again. So we could twist, which I really like the shape of that for the octopus leg. That's a nice, it's just a nice shape. So we've got to bring it in here. You'll see me erase a lot. You know, and then his little octopi leg. I think we kind of go like this. This has got to change a little bit. Feel a little more natural. The Kraken. We're gonna call him the Kraken. Hey, Humming Wolf. No video. Okay. Oh, okay, you're good. I was like, okay, now I've got all kinds of problems. So I'm glad it's your side and not my side. Although I'm sorry it's your side, because I know that that's frustrating. So sorry about that. So I like this shape a lot right here, going around his neck. That's fun. So here's the deal, guys. I had done last week, I kind of drew out some ideas. Now I'm enlarging it, changing the poses a little bit. I brought this guy down closer to his shoulder, but I also needed his legs to be a lot longer. So of course his body has to be longer to accommodate those legs. And I know that when it comes out of here, we're gonna have to pull some octopus photos that I took in Monterey at the aquarium. I'm gonna pull some of my octopus photos so that I can make sure I'm not making too much up, you know, in my head. Crazy pants fantasy. So, all right, we've got, how do I do it over here? Oh, I kind of curl them back. So it's got to be a little convoluted. And if you guys hear some dings and stuff, I think it's my phone, and I am just like winging it here. It could be the YouTube live. I don't know, but I don't want to. Let's see. I tried taking sound off. We're just going to have like some happy blings now and then. We're going to go with it. Okay, working on the curls on the head. So let's kind of look at this and how I did it, since he had legs coming up here. And I did like, it's not in the painting, but I really liked the idea of this kind of coming back here. And I don't think that's dynamic enough. So maybe it's this one that's going this way. Right there. You guys are going to start seeing me like I will draw and erase and draw and erase while I try to figure it out. Now, I like the line on that better because it just seems more natural, I guess. I'm going to bring this curve back a little bit like that. And then this one, you know, it's somewhere back in there. So we've got 1, 2. This is going to be one here. Three. Kind of mirrors in with this guy. We got 4 and 5. And then six. And I really need to check too on how they taper off. We'll look at my octopus and kind of see how they meet, like how this, you know, I think they all come like this way, but he can turn them back. So I'm not sure if like under his beak, how that turns in under here. We're going to have to figure that out. So for now, we'll just kind of draw this guy's neck in. I'm not too worried about the neck. They have a long neck. How his head turns under here, I want to make sure I get this right so that it looks right. So we got the mouth and then whatever the side of the mouth and then the top looking up. So we're going to make sure that we get that right. And we'll probably see a little bit of his eye maybe up in here. Maybe like that. And is the screen, is it fuzzy, guys? I'm looking to see. I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to try my glasses. It does look like the drawing looks fuzzy on the video. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know if I can fix that. Man, I'm going to have to look into that because it does look fuzzy. Let me see if is the camera dirty? Is it? Oh, let's just take a look at the settings of the Logitech. Oh, let's go up and see if I increase it. Now this may, oh, that's me. We don't care about me. All right, done. Let's try this guy and kind of see if that helps or this helps. Yeah, I don't know, gang. Maybe if I make it smaller, like bring it in. Maybe a little better. Not really. See, I think it's confused about what it's focusing on. It seems like it's focusing over here. So let's see if we can get it to focus. Focus. Give it some lines to focus on. Did that help? Not too much, did it? All right. Well, we'll kind of see. Okay. Sorry, everybody. It's a never-ending learning thing. Okay, what'd I say? We've got 1. This is the end of this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somehow, this one's going to be back in here. 6. So how was everybody's week? Feel free to drop a note in the chat. Tell me about any neat art you guys might have made. That would be awesome. I know it is still beautiful in New Mexico right now. And it's hard even when I run out to get a lunch at my day job because I go outside and it's just beautiful. And I'm like, oh man, I want to be out plein air painting. So hopefully somebody is out there getting some painting done. I don't know if Go West is on tonight, but I know that she got some painting in on Tuesday. Humming Wolf, you're usually really good about getting lots of painting time in. Did you get outside? 2. So Tuesday's show was really fun, everybody. The VOD is still up on Twitch if you want to see it. It's I did like dye pigment powders. I did that as an underpainting underneath gouache. So it was a really cool effect. It's something that I like to work with that stuff. It gives you things that you don't plan on or expect. So if you want to take a look at that one, that is currently on my Twitch channel, Wendy Makes Art, and you can watch the VOD. Just so you all know, that is up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're getting there. 7. I think they like to curl the ends of their little legs. Listen to me, like I know what an octopus likes. $24 by $36. Oh, wow. So those of you who haven't seen that in chat, or if you're on a different platform, one of the painters following along tonight is working on a 24 by 36. And I have to say, I'm in a show right now, and so is Humming Wolf. It's in the same show. And I was in the gallery looking, and I really thought, I've got to start painting 30 by 40. 30 by 40 has so much presence in an art show. And so that's my drive behind, like, you'll hear me talk about, well, I want to do this, or I want to make these bigger, because I started out small. And I think, especially if I ever get a museum show, I really want them to have some amazing presence. So yeah, 24 by 36 is a really nice size. I think one of the ones you have in there, Humming Wolf, is that size, right? So just one of those takeaways when I was looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got one more. So we've kind of got that hair, which I like a lot. That may come up in here. And he's got one more, which he could even wrap around from this side. Like, this could be one wrap right here. And then he could also have one coming in here. I don't know if that's back, like this, like that. So you don't even see where it is, but you just know that he's kind of got it wrapped around. And I don't want him to look like he's strangling him. I just want him to look like this is fun, and it looks like hair. 20 by 20 and 20 by 30. Go big or go home kind of girl. That's funny, Annie C. You're right. I've always wanted, well, what if I go bigger? Yeah, I looked at my little paintings in the show, and I was like, they almost seem like a toy or something, like not serious. And I thought, I gotta get serious. This is nuts. Okay, so I'm looking right now. You guys can probably see on screen. You see some of these bones. I kind of wanted to get that idea. His neck is in here. And then he has these pieces that come down. The bones are underneath in here. They would be right in here. Before these little flappy things join. So I was kind of spot on that there's a piece that comes out in here before they're big old flippers. And I may want to, I kind of like them going that way. I don't know. Let me think about that. But what I was trying to see is, I have a feeling this is the jawbone underneath. So his thing came up here, and then there's like this recessed area below the snout. So there's his snout. And then from the top, now these guys I found, here's a side, doesn't really give me good teeth. His eye is a lot more forward than I made it. I think his eye would actually go like right in here, not here. So his eye, and he has a whopper of an eye socket on top. I don't know how much of it we would actually see from below in this case. And then this part gets really narrow from what I'm looking at. It would be pretty narrow under here. Yes, is that what that is? It's a chat alerts? That is the chime. So I must have turned something on when I changed all my settings. And I'm sorry, guys, it's probably driving you all nuts. You know, we've talked about this, and I did find something that said show alerts, and so I clicked it because I thought, well, let's see what that does. And this is part of being a new streamer. I don't know how long I'm going to get away with saying I'm a new streamer. Valsky will probably tell me that I'm. So yes, when I hear that ding, check my chat, because we know how bad I am. I'll get in here and start drawing, and then I won't even look at chat. Okay, let's see what else I have. I found some, I think this is what, okay, you guys probably can't see this. No, it's blurry there. Anyway, he's got major teeth going on. There are like some big chompers. And some of the stuff I found. Oh, here we go. Here, this gives us a good idea. Check out these chompers. So I'm thinking that we would see a hint of these, like this way, in this jaw as it comes in here. And it looks like they kind of like stick out. So maybe we would even see some of that going on. So he's got some chompy stuff happening. I'm trying to think my way through this jaw and turning it underneath, and then how it would join at the neck right in here. It's probably like a little different right here. Kind of go with that. And I'm also trying to decide, I don't know that my neck is quite long enough. But this is also, we're looking head on as he's up above us. So we might be okay. I know that I've got these plates down here before it gets to this long one, and then out. So he's got quite some size to him. Okay. Erasing. Gotta love erasing. Okay, so let's take a look at underneath. What can we see? I've got some different, so this kind of gives us an idea. Look at that with his ribs. He had a lot of ribs, but they're long, like they're wide, flat. And then when they come down under, so yeah, they were very much, there was something underneath. His spine goes along the top. And I'm looking at his tail. It's longer than I would have imagined. So we're looking at a foreshortened thing right here, and then his tail will come down under. This piece is 20 by 30 Humming Wolf. I have it on, I had to put it up here because it takes up my entire table. So I could have left my other setup, but to draw it, as you know, I like to draw face on, and when it's at an angle, I tend to screw things up. So I thought that I might as well try to help myself a little bit and not do too many squirrely things. Okay, so these legs had a bone come out like this, and then they too had flippers. So we're just gonna put these crazy flippers here, and same in here. Like that's his tail, wherever that is. And then this would be this bone with his, oh, it's actually bigger down to narrow. So narrow to big right there. And then at the end of that, there's like a joint. And I have to remember I'm doing the underside, and then there's 5 fingers. So he's got like a long one and a long one and a really long one in the middle. There, like that. That's interesting. So if this guy comes down here, I think it would fall a little more like that. I don't know if you guys can see me drawing that or not. Hey, Jay Frederick. Okay, so it is an octopus on the plesiosaurus, something like that. I don't know. So that's why he looks so weird. Is, see, I've got my octopus, and then that is to be the hair on Venus. And I'm just going to kind of make these flippers really opal-y. I really want them like opals. So that's going to be my artistic license. That's what it is. Artistic license. Now we would be seeing this one from the side. And it looks like they come down to little tips. And it would be, this probably is only to about here. I'm kind of looking now, it is foreshortened. We've got a lot of different stuff going on here, but maybe that is more like it. I love it. You were out painting, J. Frederick Art. I saw your work. It looked great. I was just talking about how jealous I was about being in the office. But that's okay. All right, so his big, and I feel like this isn't quite right. I feel like I raised it too much. This should be down. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna redraw this limb like 1,000 times. Which is fine. It's all fine. You didn't paint today, though? And I'm going to miss you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a great time tomorrow. I'll be thinking about all of you. I am shallow and had a hair appointment, so that is where I'll be. Oh, I'll miss all of you guys. I think you'll have a great time. That's going to be a lot of fun to see everyone. Okay. Let's see. For those of you who don't know, I know some of you guys know, probably all of you know, but anybody who's new to the channel too, I am super excited. I'm going to be on faculty for Gouache Boot Camp through Streamline Publishing on February 19th, 2026. So you can find information about that at gouachebootcamp.com. It's very reasonably priced, and it'll be a whole day of painting in gouache. So if you ever wanted to learn about gouache, how to paint with gouache, different things you can do, I'm just super excited about it. So check that out. And at some point when we get the links, we don't have them yet. Actually, Bowski can probably put it in Twitch. I believe it's gouachebootcamp.com. I think that's what it is. Bowski, you may have to check that on something first. And then we'll get you guys links. I think they'll give me affiliate links here sometime soon. We're still waiting for that. It's like the last piece for the faculty. They are having, I know I did it last year. Last year they did a art business mastery class, and it was fabulous. It's an all-day event, and they are running it again tomorrow. So I would miss part of it, but I have considered, I think basically if I'm going to do it, I got to sign up tonight. I don't even know if it's too late. It might be too late. I might have just messed around too long. Okay. So he's swimming up through the water, which is why you're seeing him like this. I do want lots of movement in this when we do the water. So I'm going to try to get some kind of a hint of these movements in here with his body, like going up and swirling through the water and then coming out. And I really want splashes. I really thought that would be fun to have all kinds of little splashes. And I do want, we're going to put this right about in here coming out of the water, because I think that would be really fabulous to kind of, I need this is what we need. I want to make sure that you know what? We need to do it this way. If we go to 5.5 and then, well, I don't know if that's the best way to do this, because I don't know how I'm going to square this thing. Well, now I've got myself in a pickle. We're not going to draw the water line yet, but we're going to indicate where it is, right in here. Does that have the February 19th date on it, Lebowski? Because there are Gouache Live and Gouache Bootcamp Live are two different. They're the same, but they're two different things. So I think it is gouachebootcamp.com. Let me see. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here we go. That's upgrades. I could have sworn I found it. The other day. Yeah, this one that you put in there, Lebowski, is the August event. The other one is for February. Yeah, that one's August 22nd. The other one that, the one I'm talking about is February 19th. It doesn't make it easy when you can't find it. There was a moment where I was like, am I nuts? Have I made this up? That's still August 22nd. Yep. Oh well, when we find it, we'll share it. Okay. So I'm trying to like go through here and think about where this is in space, if it's right, how it would look. I think his tail isn't quite in the center from where his feet were that I put in here. So that's all goofy. I don't know that we would even see it. It would be up behind him. We might see a little bit, but it might be more like this. Yeah, we might see it might be a little different than what we're thinking. Or it's so foreshortened that we don't even realize how long it is. Could be that. Okay, moving on. That gave us a start to build him. He's not quite there, but I want to move on and get some of these other things in here. So this guy, I need to pull up, and I also have to figure out if he is the right time period. So I found this guy, and if you look at the painting, we've got this character over here, and I really liked the idea of this dolphin-like, long-nosed creature. I liked that his body was real bulby because of this. And I'm going to put him in, it's not seaweed, kelp, like an orange and yellow kelp forest. And I'll lean it into the reds a little bit because of the pinks in this guy right here. I definitely think we'll look at the oranges and maybe quinacridone golds when we paint this, and also whatever the color this octopus is. But I've got to have pearlescent colors, and I got to make sure they all work together, and speak a little bit about the painting. We'll see. We'll see where this ends up. Okay, so let's take a look at this guy. And I have on here, he may be, boy, I hope that I wrote it down. Stenopterygius. We're going to try that and see. Oh, good, you found it. It looks like you found it. Okay, so anything that says gouachebootcamp.com, and this event is, and you'll see me on there, Wendy Alm, and it is February 19th. So thank you, Lebowski, for finding that. In the meantime, I need to pull up and make sure I want to check the time period for this guy. And I've got to find out what he was, because for whatever reason, I did not write it down. So that was bad. Malawania. I do not know if that is him. Yeah. So these are ichthyosaurs, and I want to see if they were found in the Jurassic, the early Jurassic. So that's Meliwania. And he's almost like a penguin, but not. $70 million years prior. I want to see. I think he may be Cretaceous. Let's see if I can find it. You are right, Lebowski. That is not good. Everybody's going to have to find it through direct links that we provide. So that's not fun. Okay, I am looking now for Stenopterygius. And I really think if I just look for ichthyosaurs, right? Yeah. So I'm going to search now for early Jurassic. Early Jurassic. Okay, they were abundant during the early Jurassic period, so we're good. This means that these dinosaurs were found in the same time period. And they're ichthyosaurs. And then what I want to do is find out which the best one of these guys would be. For early Jurassic. So I'm kind of looking for a family. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here's the one. Stenopterygius. There we go. And he's very dolphin-like, but he's bulbous and he's got a long nose. And he's early Jurassic. I'm writing notes, guys, so if you're wondering what I'm doing, it's so that I can find this again. Go to images. All right, pretty spot on. I don't know if his nose is quite... I'm going to look for the fossils because I like seeing the fossils and getting a better idea of how long the end of the nose was. Some of these guys are really... Well, that one has fairly decent size. It's not that bad. All right, we can do this. And I don't know if I have in my stash any images of this guy. I may not. This is a different dinosaur path I went when I started this piece. This is not the dinosaur you're looking for. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at their bones, what they found from them. Okay, so they got like a long, so they have a big orbital kind of thing going on. And what this guy is going to do is we're going to bring him over here on the right. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you guys can. Yeah, you can see the right. Okay, so this guy needs to have his beak right about up to here. Okay, now gotta get the angle right on this. So I'm kind of looking. And then his little head. So I've got like images up on the right on my screen, and if he's really porpoise-like, he would I almost feel like this flipper over here needs to be something in here. Kind of look and see what we can do with this. And then how he proportions out. Now, I think in all reality, he needs to be this big. And we just make him big. So his head and beak come in this way. And then maybe this. So let's kind of take a look at some of the fossils. And see what we've got, guys. All right. They're a little bit bizarre. Like they're almost top heavy like a manatee. You know, I'm looking and I'm going, it's interesting. There's a part back here and then their head would come in here, right? So they've got this big bulby head. And this just looks so manatee to me. It comes down and then this piece, wherever he is, comes out right there. And then this comes back in here. But his back is like, I don't know, it's just kind of bulbous. It's very manatee-like. So he's got this cheek under here. And it's pretty flat in here. And I think this flipper actually probably joined like inside, probably right in here. And so you guys know I have like a bazillion bones, fossils up in front of me to look at this guy. Oh, okay, I see. So it looks like what happens is, here's one where it's dented. I don't know if they did that intentionally to show us how it would fit, but this is fascinating. So it's like the little, almost like the fins of today here. And then here, his dorsal fin would be back here. You would have a dorsal fin and it would be there. So that's where that guy goes. And it's a very shark-like. Now mine is, I've got to think my way through it. Okay? Because he's going to be like this. There's his, if it comes to the bottom and his body is turned this way. So do you see how I do these ovals? I don't know if that is the right way to do it, but it sure helps me get the feel for where the lines of the body would go. in space as he turns. So I do these, like if I were to cut this into slices, like a ham, what would it look like? And that sounded really sick, didn't it? Like just wrong. And it almost looks like these front flippers, some of them look really big. I'm just kind of going through these. Now the ichthyosaurus seems very close or somehow related to the plesiosaurus. I can't say him well. And then he's got this great long tail. So after the dorsal fin is up in here, like let's say this is here. And then I would need to figure out how this would foreshorten in here. Then this would come in the water. Maybe that's it. This. That, and that, and then we would see the this guy, kind of like that turn right there for his tail. That's nice. I like that a lot right there. So I kind of like the lines of this guy right now. And then I want his mouth open. Now, I don't see any. I had little teeny tiny teeth. I kind of wanted this jaw open. And this too is, you know, we're going to see a 3/4 side. So the top is here. This is the top. This is the side of his head. Just drawing a box to kind of get the feel. And then the side. Sometimes this helps. Or would it be that? Like, is this the top? I know it's a mess, guys. I'm sorry, it's a mess. I want his mouth open. So I gotta kind of figure out how this top part with his big bulby eyes, they almost look like something in a fish tank, you know, like with the giant eyes, like he has this huge eye. Let me look at the fossils and see if I can figure some of this out. You don't think it's a mess? I'm like, oh, this is a mess. This is a total mess. Thank you though, Jane. Okay, I like, there we go. So that, it's like, you ever see those bulby-eyed goldfish? It kind of reminds me of that in a way. So his face is going to be like that. And then this comes up quite a bit. The jaw comes under and then up and under. So that's wild. Okay. It's getting there. Jane, look. You got me this. I love it. I started out earlier with, this is interesting. His head, it actually looks like it's more than that going on in here. A different, just a regular pencil, and it broke right away. So luckily I went to this one. All right. Still looking at different bones. And I'm also looking, I think I need to bring that flipper closer to the front. I think it's more up here than down there. Now that I'm looking, he's got like, so there's like a bone plate in here underneath, and then there's a bone plate underneath in here. And then there's like the bone inside the flipper is right there. And probably about that size. So it gives us a little bit better of a shape. And let's see where this little... I know, I never thought I'd be a mechanical person, but I really love these. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's chunkier or because the lead's bigger, because it's a 9-point lead. That may be part of it. I don't know, but I really like it. Okay, I do like, nope, it's got to be here. It has to be here because of this bone. This bone would come in here in him. And then this would go back here. Okay. It would be like that. Okay, that's probably more like it. And then down here, as we go around in this tail part, this little one kind of sticks straight out. So it kind of comes out here. Then the bone would go in like this. So if I look at it, yeah, it's almost like an elbow back this way. And then in right there. Okay. And then the dorsal fin falls from here. It goes in. So his dorsal fin's going to come in like that. His body will be around here, but that dorsal fin is my nemesis right now. Okay, so we got a good feel for where he's going. That helps. I like that. I may need to, like, maybe his mouth will be open a little more like this. Give him a friendly porpoise look. Okay, that's a good start. Now, let's see. What else we got? So that's that guy. We know what he is. Now we've got to go into the land of pterodons. Okay, so in the painting, we've got these two angels up here. And so what we're going to do is, instead of the angels... Oh, and if you guys are wondering what paper this is Arch's 140-pound cold press, full sheet. Okay. So now we've got pterodons. I'll put this guy up here, maybe, so we can kind of see it in the corner. And they're going to be over in here on this side. And of course, you know, we've got a space. So if we look at this whole thing spatially. We've got a little more room. They're going to have, their heads are going to be right about here. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we put their heads in there. And it's dinging. I just don't see all of the, I'm wondering if I can hear the chat on YouTube, but I can't see the chat. So I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can tell what chat is what. Yeah, I think I've got Humming Wolf, I think, are you on YouTube? So I can see Lebowski on YouTube. I think, yeah, Humming Wolf, you, and there we go, multi-stream. Now I got everybody. Sorry, y'all. Learning. I think that's amazing that, of course, Lebowski figured it out. Of course. Can I figure it out? No. Does Lebowski figure it out? Of course. Oh, good. Definitely getting alerts from both now. Yay. And Jay Frederick, you're on Twitch. Thank you guys for hanging out with me through this. I was very excited about this this piece. I think it's so much fun. And these stages of really putting it together, it's hard. Okay, so we're going to pretend that our pterodons have dove into the water and then they're working their way out of the water. So they're going to need to be in here. Body's about, we've got all this shape in here. We really need to fall right about in here. And the shoulders come mid-face or something in here. Okay, his shoulder. So I've got one down here. I've got two heads in here. I've got a body. I'm going to need a body. And then their legs. So however we end up doing their legs are going to come out here. And their wings, of course, they're going to need to be trying to get up and out. So we'll be working on these wings and how to get that going. Okay. So general feel, idea. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about the pterosaurs. And what I need to find are that's Plesiosaurus. I need to find pterosaurs that lived during the early Jurassic. So I first found this Radiodactylus, but he is early Cretaceous, so he's not the right pterodactyl. There's a pterodactyl. So I need to find pterosaur that is early Jurassic. I'm so glad that YouTube is working better for you. That's awesome to hear. Okay. Let's see. And I don't think we've had much lagging. I found another setting to kind of help with that so that it will adjust the bandwidth. I think that's what it does. So hopefully that helped. Early, I am so dirty. My fingers are filthy. Jurassic. Is it PTERO? Pterosaurs. Early Jurassic pterosaurs. Okay. Dimorphodon. Okay. Dimorphodon. Okay, so they became extinct at the end of the Cretaceous. They first appeared in late Triassic, and then they had rapid diversification during Jurassic. So what I want to find is the pterosaur in early Jurassic. So this one says Dimorphodon. Yeah, and I think the whole thing is blurry. We're going to have to work on the cameras and kind of get better at this because this is, I don't like how fuzzy it is. I know you guys can see it, but you can't really see my line work. It looks so fuzzy to me when I look at this on my screen. So I know it's fuzzy for all of you, and that's making me crazy. This is, so the Dimorphodon is, it's a medium size. Oh, he's mean. Look. Oh, they're scary. Ooh, holy cow. They have a giant jaw. I mean, their head is like crazy. Let me see if I can find a fossil. Because usually the fossils help me draw. If I can find the fossils. I don't want to see what everybody else thought they looked like. I want to see their oh my goodness. They have the most gigantic heads. Holy cow. So, wow. Okay. Let's see if they had any other ones, because Jurassic pterosaurs. Here we go. This gives me a few. I think there were 6. I think that's what I saw. Oh, this gave me 5. Pterodactylus. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the Dimorphodon is terrifying. He is wacky. His head is so big. However, you know, we could put feathers on him. We can do a lot with him. And in looking at the artwork, the painting, you know, he has potential. Now there is I love this guy. He has a wacky, oh, he has a great wacky tail, like a crazy long tail. And he's a Ramphor, so it's RHAMPHOR. I think it's an HYNCHUS. I don't even know how to say it. So there's that one, and then there's Pterodactylus, which is like a pterodactyl, I'm guessing, and then a Dimorphodon. And then there's one there's a couple that aren't as exciting. So it's gonna be one of those 3. I want to look up this RHAMPH. Let's take a look at this guy. They made him look really wicked. Images. And we're going to look up fossil. Lebowski, did you find me a link to one? Wow. These guys are quite the critter. Holy cow. Okay. Where to even begin? I had the hardest time with their bat-like wings and how that worked. As far as like when you're looking at the fossils and you see all these long spider-like appendages. Let's see what Lebowski sent. I'm just gonna jump over here and check that out. Okay, so he gave me a whole big thing on pterosaurs. Oh, and he found one with the time frame. Nice. So, as you can tell right now, I am just wasting a lot of time. Oh, that's a lot of detail. I think I'm going to have to do some reading, dude. Because this, better climber, Jurassic, there we go. Jurassic. Okay, I see. I like the way they did that. That's pretty cool. And I'm looking for this one, this Rampho. I don't even see him on here. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah. And he's late Jurassic. He's not really early. He's not really early Jurassic. He is late Jurassic. If I want to get into early Jurassic, then it's got to be more like this Anaerognathus cascodicata. Guys, I'm going to have to do some research. So I think before I do too much with these pterosaurs. Well, yes. However, I just have this feeling like, so I have this thing that I want to do this show, this museum show. I really want this to be the museum show. And I don't want, an 8-year-old who's a dinosaur nut coming up and just letting me have it because I put the wrong dinosaur from the wrong time period with another dinosaur of that time period. Now, I know they probably didn't worry about that with Jurassic Park, but I'm just, like, that's a nightmare. That means I didn't do any homework. And I don't want to be that artist. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so no matter what, if I'm looking at these guys, they've, in general, with the exception of a couple of them, we've got the wings when they're flying. When they're crawling around on the ground, they're very bat-like. When they're flying, they're very bird-like. But then they have these crazy little, some of them have like a long tail. Some of them don't. You are right. Everything we think we know, we don't know. Like, we can look at these fossils and kind of try to figure it out, but we don't really know. So that being said, if I were this flying monster bird, I'm kind of looking at them from and thinking about my chickens too. So I'm trying to think about my chickens and birds in general and how, you know, that chest cavity is right in here. So what that'll look like, and then how they're going to tilt their heads also. So his head is like, he's blowing wind. So this guy really needs, I'm trying to think of the direction. His eyes here. And if that's that case, then their body would actually be more like this. And then, you know, like back. Where it's joining. And these giant wings. So we've got neck, and then where the wings join in, and I'm kind of looking to see right in here. So if it comes in here, and this was his head for that one. Just kind of getting some shapes in, guys, to kind of determine, you know, like maybe he had a thing like this. I don't know. This guy is blowing stuff. This guy isn't gonna, but I think his face could be held near there. And then down. So whatever's going on with his neck, and then wings. So like if this is there and he's really trying to lift himself up and out, then his wing is going to be they're like in two chunks, so it would be like a bird wing. So this one, and then that. I'm just trying to decide how high up does it go. Does it go up to here? Probably. Then down. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. Sorry you have to leave. Have a good night. Happy painting. I'm only going to be on here a little bit more. I'm just kind of like canoodling over on the left side to start to put these pterodons, the to be determined pterodons. But I figured, you know, structurally they're probably about the same. They had these little legs back here that hung, and I don't know, maybe his back will be down more, and then these little legs will be down this way. But I wanted to bring them out like the painting, so I did want them back here. Maybe one could be down this way. But part of this is going to be getting that lift, that feeling of lift that I want. So let me kind of put this here. You know, like he's fighting to get this lift. So he's got this up here. And then where is, you know, does it go back this way? Maybe one of them is more like that, and then the other one is just coming into it, because we've got the second one in here. So, you know, our second one, maybe like this. Here. And it's a little more oh, stop it. Yeah, AI, can you draw me this and this? I could. You know, it would have extra limbs. And that's not what this is about anyway. You know, I like being able to alter it myself and have my own vision. That. Trying to think of like how this one's going to be, the neck. Yeah, I really like the idea of some kind of thing on top of this guy's head. That's fun. Like that. And then this guy could have her wing. Out like that. Doesn't seem quite right. That doesn't seem like it's got enough oomph or span to it. So kind of take a look, see what happens. I wonder if they, since they could bend it all the way back, you know, like part of me is thinking, did they only glide with them? Could they put them straight out but not, you know, like maybe they couldn't bring it down this way? Because it looks like they only could go down and then have it up, or they could glide. So part of me is thinking that they would not have been able to flap. It almost looks like they glided when I look at them. Like they seem more glidey than anything. Let's see, what did Lebowski say? They had to, you're right, they had, well, or did they? Or did they live like, did they climb up like bats on, you know, rock ledges with their claws and their bent old thing, and they just climbed up the face of a wall and then jumped off and soared? Yeah, I can see them glide. I just, I'm having a hard time that they could, like that they can take their limb and bend it in, and then also back. Like I don't know. That just seems like counterintuitive. So I'm not quite sure what to do about these guys. That's all. That's all. Just thinking out loud. And my pterodons. I think I like this. And I think, whatever I end up doing with his little, he's got the little hand up in here. All of them have like this creepy little hand going on. So, like, is it this way maybe? Maybe that way. That may be kind of cool. And then I'm also looking, yeah, it's wide towards the body because it goes, and it goes all the way back to those legs. So this one comes out like this. It's connected to those legs back in here. So it does connect. So they did have a functioning wing like a bird. Okay. I may have to like do a little bit of looking at birds and condors and some other things to get this pair of pterosaurs over here the way I need them to be. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Well, we didn't get to picking colors, unfortunately. I don't even have it all drawn out yet. But we have a better idea of what we're doing. So I am happy with that. Like, we've got a really good start for the whole layout. So that was really good. We got it to, as you can see, here's where we're going kind of thing. Of course, very different composition with dinosaurs and the random octopus, but I think it's all good. So thank you guys. Thank you for your patience. We will work on our cameras and try to get it more spot on focus. And let's see, other than that, thanks so much. Have a great weekend, whatever you all do. I hope you make lots of art. I hope you do lots of fun things. And I will be back on Tuesday with Art Tooltip Tuesday. So I will see you then. Bye.